Oh, now I'd like to introduce my first guest in this section, which is Garry Marsh of YPS. Gary Brown. Garry Marsh. I'll tell you what, Dave. I'll be calling you Dave in a minute, Garry.
Well, anything you like, Colin, you're welcome.
I always do that. So, Garry, it's lovely to see you again because we met not so long ago on one of these events when we were talking about personalisation. And I suppose what we're going to be talking about now is a sort of an extension of personalisation, really, but within textiles. But as Jack's just mentioned, you've got this wonderful business in a box concept. And I'd really figure I should start off by asking you all about that. What is it?
It came about, we're working with Epsom anyway, and we're working towards getting the product to market. But the pandemic, I guess, speeded everything up, accelerated the business in a box, because we had this idea that there's a lot of people out there looking for second revenue streams, and the constraints were they were working from home. And we thought, well, how can we simplify this? You know, how can we make it so easy for somebody to work from the shed or the bedroom or the kitchen? So we tried to put it in the Epsom 500. It was perfect for it. So we got a suitable heat press for it, and off we jolly well went. I mean, you can get a sewing machine with that. All of the business in a box, the capability of the business box fitted very well with the Open Institute model as well, which we can talk about a little bit later. But it's been a huge success, Colin, the 500, and I know that there's the 100s to be launched very, very soon, and we've ordered a substantial amount of those units, and the amount of inquiries we've had daily from people wanting to get involved, and they want the 500, they want the 100, they want the business in the box, they want the training, they want the support. These, in the past, we've been very much business to business, so working, you know, B2C. There's a lot more questions. There's a lot more support required. So we've built up that support in the training facilities we have here at Your Print Specialists, supporting people. Some of the questions you've had this morning, I think Phil mentioned, you know, speak to value resellers where you're going to get the support that you need. Questions you've had has been, can I use this rip? Can you help me with colour management? And there's a raft of other questions, and that's where Your Print Institute comes in very, very helpful. I mean, I have to say, we're talking textiles this morning, and we're talking about the F500 and the F100, but the cost of ownership it's pennies. It's very, very cheap. The total cost of ownership is very, very cheap. You can get products to market very, very cheaply. You can get your ideas off the ground. You can get those portable skills. You can build that business you've always dreamed about. But the Open Institute, we'll talk about a little bit more. It's not just about textiles. There's a lot more things you can get involved with.
Well, let's come on to the Institute, because we've got one of your champions who we'll be speaking to in a moment. But, you know, where did this idea for the Institute come about? And, you know, with the textiles and the home decor, what's the thought process behind it?
I can remember, you may not, I don't know, I can remember sitting having a coffee with you. Dear me, it must have been, terrible with time, but 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was at one of the print shows, and I was talking to you about vocational education within the print world and having standards for apprentices and anybody that's coming into the trade. I remember when I started my apprenticeship as a printer, we had a print school.
Yeah, same as me. Yeah.
Same as you say, yeah, you're from exactly the same background. You and I have had that conversation. And years ago, you and I
getting drummed out, Garry. Yeah.
I remember being in a tin and ink being thrown over me, and that's another story. You and I had a chat in a coffee years ago about how frustrated I was becoming. I'd spoken to colleges, I'd spoken to all the latest sort of business link type organizations around connections, trying to get, you know, talented youngsters out of university, out of school, ideas of design, print, getting them into the trade. I just couldn't get any traction. Try as I might, so I thought, well, if nobody's interested, I'll do it myself. I did learn a lot of these organizations. I paid a lot of money to get bums on seats, not least universities, and you know, they get the necessary paper qualifications, and off the trot to Pizza Hut or McDonald's or one of the coffee shops. And what's such a shame not to get this talent to market. So I've borne that for years. I mean, since you and I had that chat.
Yeah.
So we started your Print Institute. I mean, there's, as you know, textiles, the market in particular, is going through some monumental changes at the moment, and the customers will never ever, being, you know, the designers and the innovators we're talking about, and the end users, the influence they have on design is bigger now than it's ever been before, because you can have a one-off or a 50-off. It doesn't have to be a set of screens or a set of plates to set up. You can get your own design tomorrow. We want to try and facilitate that by giving the people the confidence and the portable skills, and support them and get the innovators and the next entrepreneurs to market. We want to try and make it easy for them, Colin.
Well, let's talk about that, and maybe it's time to introduce Beth Travers of Bobo Designs, because Beth's one of your ambassadors, isn't she, for this? And perhaps if we can bring on Beth, and we can talk to her a little bit about it. But maybe you could introduce Beth in terms of, you know, what she's doing with you. Yeah,
Beth is. I mean, we're talking about getting products to market, and that's a very, very wide brush, but Beth's very, very unique in that she's a market leader in her own right. She just won the FESPA Gold Award for design, which is no mean feat. But her designs are very unique, very high value, very artistic. I don't know how much you know about Beth. Hi, Beth.
Yay.
But she started in 2016. She's worked with Ministry of Upholstery in the past as well. She's just got a new studio, which she's about to open, which is very exciting. She's going to be working with us through your Print Institute. She's getting her own print capabilities as well, which she's very excited about. But Beth's very, very unique, highly respected, and her designs are very high value. And this is a fantastic opportunity for us as an ambassador to show some of the youngsters coming through. Could be school or university, or just could be somebody of any age really who wants to get in the market. And she's an inspiration, Colin.
Well, over to you, Beth. Yeah, I know. I mean, boy, did he sell that or what? But
he did. I'll have to get him a little something when I get up my feast.
Let me ask you, Beth. So where are you fitting in now with the end customer? So somebody watching this that basically wants to really fulfill a career in this industry, they might want to move into wallpaper, or they might want to make curtains or make fabric for chair covers, and, you know, bespoke. They really want to, because people will pay for emotions, won't they? And that's important to remember when we're setting up these businesses. So what's your role in all of this?
I think so I design all the patterns for the wallpapers, the upholstery fabrics, the cushions. To be honest, it can be anything that you want it to be, and that's the thing. It's finding the suppliers and building that relationship, which I'm really, really fortunate to have.
Yeah,
I was really lucky. When I moved to Manchester, I didn't have a clue what I was really doing. I just knew that I wanted to make wallpaper. And I fell into the world of hospitality really, really quickly. And there was a lot of lies told, probably. They were saying, can you do this? Can you do this? And I was like, yeah, of course. And that's where I met a lot of my suppliers, and Garry as well, who I'm really, really lucky to have, because these were people that were able to share this knowledge with me, because I didn't have it. And I think that's what's really, really great about design and digital and technology, is that we're all really, really happy to share the knowledge that we have and to create really, really great end products. And having this business in the box from Garry is just going to open so many doors for everybody, because it means that it's sustainable. You're doing it in-house. And it cuts down on your lead times as well, because you don't have to kind of design a prototype and send it off and have it made and then come back to approve it. You can do it straight in-house, and it's kind of instantaneous. So it just makes it really, really easy, and it's really, really exciting time for designers and technology both.
So what sort of products are you working on, and are you able to, you know, what can you showcase to people that are coming online with YPS, with the Institute? Well, you know, it's what do they need to know?
So I can showcase my wallpapers, upholstery fabrics, cushions. You don't really need to know anything if you're coming to do like the YPS thingy. That's what the beauty is. You don't have to have these skills. I mean, when I work with the Institute, we're going to be teaching people that you don't have to be a great artist to be able to create. You just have to have a little bit of imagination, and you can do, like, the world is your oyster at the minute. You can, it's just such an open market. But people who come to the studio can see all my wallpapers, all the fabrics, all the cushions, and seating. I would show you, but I've only just moved in, so it's not finished.
What about things like upholstery? I mean, are you able to teach that skill, or is that something that they've got to be guided on?
That would probably be something that they could be guided on. I don't tend to have that. I had one go at upholstery and then saw that the air compressor was like a tool. I don't know if anybody's seen it, a film called No Country for Old Men. And so I was pretty much instantly banned from using an air compressor. But yeah, no, I think that's what's really, really beautiful about this and this opportunity is that so many different disciplines and so many different industries are going to come together in one place to give people the knowledge of the tools.
Yeah,
I think that's really important because, like Garry said, when you finish university, you're a fish out of water because you've spent all this time and all this money gaining the skills, but you have no idea where to go with it or where to take it. And I just think it's such a great opportunity that we're able to have this, create this more like this movement actually. That here, this is how you do it. This is the process. Give them that knowledge, and then it's up to them to take it further.
Well, Garry, let me ask you to expand upon that, if you will, in terms of your dream for this. I mean, I know you have a great vision for it. I mean, you're at the initial stages now. So people that want to get involved, what's the process? How will this work from your perspective? So if it's somebody watching today and they really feel like they want to progress this, you know, how will you work with them?
There's a landing page at the moment on your print specialist website. There's a lot of information on there. We have a launch on the 11th of January of the dedicated Your Print Institute site. There'll be a calendar on there where you can hook up to a course that you think is going to help suit you most. Be it design with Beth or I mean, we're very print related, so we have a lot of things on. It's not just textiles. It's UV. It's there's an introduction to dye sublimation. There's printer maintenance. There's UV courses. There's wallpaper courses. There's sewing courses. There's upholstery courses. There's a lot of courses on there. And even if it's something that if you get to the website in its infancy when it's launched on the 11th, and there's something you don't see, get in contact with us. Let us know what you want to see, because you know we're building this dream. I mean, you've seen the film, build it and they will come. Yeah, so that launches on the 11th, but it's very easy going. You don't have to hook up to a course. It's about giving people the confidence to want to get involved. They may just want some information. They may want some advice. They eventually may join a course. Some of the courses we have, they may be interested in, or they may be courses that's coming in the future that are interested. It's very laid back. With Barclays banks getting involved, we're going to show people how to set up business, basic stuff. You know, how you register for VAT, how you become a limited company, how does that work? There's a lot of information there that's going to give people the opportunity to get to market and start their own business if they want to, and they'll have that resource close to do that. But it may just be a basic confidence thing, Colin. It doesn't have. They don't have to dive in. A lot of people don't have the. They want to hold somebody's hand. They need the confidence to get the market. There's a lot of talented people out there that just don't have the confidence to get the market. We hope to provide that.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, I mean, for example, I've got a friend who owns a t-shirt printing business, but it's a screen printing business, okay? And he quite openly says he spends probably 80% of his day trying to talk people out of setting up their own clothing lines, right? Because people tend to contact him and they want to go, you know, straight in at the highest levels, right? And he's like, no, really, what we do is we'll work with brands and we'll produce for brands with our big rotary presses. But there's so many people that say, I really feel like I'm talented and that I can create art for T-shirts or for, as I was talking with my previous guest, Magnus Mihal from RA Smart, clothes for my hobby, which might be cycling or motocross or, fishing or something like that. But I don't know how to start, but I also don't know anything about sewing. So there's a course for everything, and I love that. So Beth, what will you be utilising that you don't already know about? What's going to be the thing for you to get behind?
I'm really fascinated by technology and smart materials, and how we can integrate that into surface pattern design, into what we do. I think that technology is there, but it's used for one thing, maybe it's in a different industry. And so I think that it would be really, really fascinating, really interesting to kind of cross industries with technology. When you're creative, you're really nosy anyway. And so I think that every time there is a new technology, and like the digital industry is so dynamic and so diverse, that it's such a great opportunity to learn new techniques, learn new skills, and understand the process. And that's why I really, really like Garry again, is because you do feel at ease. Like, you just feel so comfortable being able to go to him and say, look, I have this idea. And that's not the easiest thing to do sometimes, is to say to someone, I have the idea, because you don't want them to have it, either shoot it down or tell you it's not possible. It's really, really good that you can have these crazy ideas, take them to Garry, and Garry will go, this is how it can do. And then you can begin to understand and get the knowledge of the process. And it's just, it's really, really exciting at the minute in digital and across the industry and technology. I'm just really, really looking forward to next year as well, because I think a lot of people have spent this year developing new things, developing new techniques, and I think it's about to go off.
Excellent. Well, look, let me. We're about to close on this session, but let me bring Jack back in, if I may, because I believe that Jack has a question for you, Garry. Over to you, Jack.
Hey guys.
Hi, Jack.
I'm just you mentioned there, Beth, that this year has been about taking a bit of time to develop skills and learn yourself within your own four walls. And obviously, Garry, you've had to launch this within the restrictions that we're all under. Looking forward, now that there is some light in a few months ahead, how much better, or how much do you see this developing once we can actually come together again and be in the same room and learn from each other directly?
Was that to me, Jack? I didn't catch that.
No, to either of you, really. I'm just saying, how much better is this going to be once we can all share a room together and actually learn from each other face to face rather than via screens?
Well, there's a restriction at the moment because we have a schoolroom. We have a facility where we want people to come and feel comfortable. Use the facilities here, be it the printers or the personnel, the expertise we have. That's a bit of a restriction at the moment. So hopefully, when the pandemic's over sometime soon, that's going to really, really open it up, because it's wherever nobody's anywhere near Newcastle. But we've got ambassadors all over the UK. I mean, and not just textiles as well. We've got Beth, of course, and we've got Anthony Devine, Ministry of Upholstery. We've got a list of them here. I can't remember them all. Adam Henderson at Dye Sublimation Supplies. They've got a school of sublimation. Ambridge Segoo at Orton Down, who do, which this is important. If I don't know the answer, we'll know somebody in the industry that has the answer, or we have the contact that can help them. Because Ambridge, for instance, he does cushion inners, he does outdoor seating, curtains, kitchen accessories, throws, pet products. And all the ambassadors have their strengths. Ours is print. Bobo's is, or Beths, should I say, is design, but a very high profile, unique design. That's. It's different to, we talked earlier about personalization. She's award-winning Beth, and her designs are a very, very high value product. So that in itself is unique. So we do have institutes for ambassadors all over the UK. So the idea is to get them in there, get people to feel comfortable. Could be an open day, could be a workshop, could be a cup of tea. And I think that will really roll out. I think with the new technology that's coming on the market, affordable, Epson has these new affordable printers coming out, it will really be affordable to get people to market. But for sure, when the pandemic ends sometime soon, getting people in front of the equipment will give them the confidence they need to crack on. I'm really excited about it.
I think as well that when creatives and people who want to be creative come together, you get this synergy because you all get this excitement and you get this buzz and you work with each other and bounce off each other with your ideas. And I think that's what's going to be really, really incredible when you put all these industries together, is we're going to clash and we're going to make something, and it's just going to be something totally unique, really, that you've not really seen. Just having cross platforms and different industries coming together to create, it's just, you can't feel like, it's just really, really exciting.
Could be special.
Well,
idea sharing and skill sharing, isn't it? And from that comes ideas and new businesses and new opportunities.
Well, Garry, Beth, thank you very much for taking part in this session. It's been most informative, and I think that for those watching, really January is going to be quite an exciting time. So to look out for your launch and to visit your YPS website and to get involved with the Institute. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. We'll
Thanks,
see you later.
See you later, Garry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. So I'm going to bring on my next guest, which is Colin Marsh of Resolute DTG. Now, Jack, if there are any questions that come up, please flag them up, but I'll see you at the end of the session for the wrap.
I will appear as if by magic later.
Excellent.
Have a good week, you guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Colin, hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Great, thanks, Colin. Really pleased to see you. Yeah. Now, Colin,
good.
I wanted to talk to you about Resolute. I'm fascinated by what you do. Direct to garment printing, I think, you know, we've talked about it in many guises today. We've talked with Magnus from RA Smart about dye sublimation and various other things. But I spent an enjoyable hour on your website yesterday, just looking at the Ricoh printers and so forth that you have. And these seem really, really good, compact sort of size machines that would enable me to utilize what you call green button technology, which I understand, but by that I'm presuming you mean we're just pushing the button and we go, and you know, we get a t-shirt at the end of it. Can you tell me a little bit about that, please?
Sure. Yeah, the green button DTG systems were born from the direct to garment process being simplified. And that comes along, as you know, naturally in the print world with technology and as the process matures. So we sort of handpicked, including the Ricoh machines, to become part of the green button system. They do all have green buttons to press, as you would imagine. Yeah. It's not quite as simple as using a photocopier now, but it's getting that way. So a lot of the smoke and mirrors and the mystery has gone from things like pre-treatment, water-based things like that, and it's a very, very simple process and productive system to follow, scalable and produced in different sizes for different applications. So the green button system is complete. If somebody wants to get into DTG, it includes things like all of your pre-treat, your curing, consumables, and all the training and the support, which is quite important with the DTG.
What would it cost me if I wanted to set up with, you know, a DTG machine plus the pre-treatment equipment that's needed? Because I understand that the shirt has to have you know, something on it. Yeah. But basically, I want to just produce, you know, a small, medium, large, and extra large T-shirt, and I just want to get, you know, a 4-color image on there, and really, you know, work bespoke. So through my internet site. So what level of investment do I need to make to get the equipment to produce the T-shirts?
The starting price for a full green button system is just shy of 11,000, so it's 10,950, and all of the green button systems include what you would expect, as in mainland UK delivery, installation, training, and software. You can go right up to £75,000 depending on how many t-shirts you want to print in a day.
Yeah, of course.
So starting from a new business which might only produce 100 t-shirts a day, you can go in at, it's no longer entry level, it's sort of middle market, because the expectations of DTG now are much higher than they used to be when the equipment wasn't that fast. But for 11,000 you can get everything you need, the support, the training, and be up in business very quickly. And that includes things that you get, sort of an interface from the RIP software to download from your own website. So there's a bit of workflow involved. It really depends on how far you want to go with the automation as to what you spend.
Okay, well, we have one of your customers that we can chat to, so that will obviously be a very good live case study. It's Leo Stanley of Identity Printing. Let's bring Leo on, if we may.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, Leo.
All right, Collins.
Welcome. Good to have you
Hey,
on.
Leo.
So,
Nice one, mate. Nice one.
tell us about how you got cracking in this and what you're all about.
All right. How long have we got?
Not long, 15 minutes.
All right. Okay. Well, my history is more about music in Manchester and the rave scene, and I used to do all the T-shirts for the bands back in the 80s and the flares, and sort of carried on doing printing, and then through the course of getting involved in printing, we met Colin Marsh, and it just went downhill from there. But anyway, we're still here. No, seriously, it's me and my business partner Zahid, we have a good rap with Colin, because we're always looking for the next best thing. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be rich, because every time I get a few quid, Colin comes up with a new idea to keep us going. But just going back to that green button system, we have I take care of all the marketing and the finance at our company, and Zahid, my business partner, who's camera shy, does all the technical side of things. And he always has a saying when we go anywhere and we're selling machine and people trying to sell his machine, you say, Leo, even you could use it. So do you know what? If that's an advertising for how simple it is to use them, and it is. But no, it's turned our business around in the last 12 months, especially the way it's progressed, because I think, Colin, we were one of the first people to buy off you, weren't we? About 10 years ago, in the early days. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All those years ago,
that machine,
yeah.
we think we got rid of the last one. I mean, they were workhorses, but technically they were off the Richter scale, weren't they?
There were. I have, Colin, in my showroom, the very first T-Jet Blazer Pro that was installed in the UK, which Leo bought, and he very kindly gave it me back after it had been working for over 10 years. But it just became too slow with today's technology. And that was a pretty mean piece of kit in those days. If you imagine, over 10 years ago, it cost £27,000. Wow. That was a lot of money in those days.
Yes, I know, Colin.
But Leo actually had 3 of those, and he ran them for 10 years, which is testament to obviously the equipment.
I mean, they were workhorses, and still will. I mean, the one we gave you back is still working. But like I say, they were, when you look at them now compared to the Ricos, you know what I mean? It's like, I was saying to a screen printer pal of mine, because I think all screen printers, most of them are Luddites. I keep saying to him, in 10 years' time, you'll be dragging that carousel to the Antiques Roadshow. You need to get onto DTG. It's always fun. But how it's evolved in 10 years, and especially in the last 2 years, I mean, they're just incredible now. So simple, so incredible. Even I can use it. And what's developing, what's going to come in the next 12 months, which me and Colin know about, is going to be fantastic. But no, it's revolutionised printing, revolutionised it.
So, Leo, are you still banging out merch for bands, or is your business diverse?
No, we give up with the bands because they've got no money unless it gets to number one, and then the big people take over. No, it was I was a DJ and still am a DJ, so that's why I used to do a lot for them, and it sort of fizzled out when merchandise in general fizzled out. But then we got involved with my business partner's daughter got involved is with this Scouse lad who's he works for Sony, but he had this idea about doing this T-shirt. And just going back to what you were saying about that screen print that spends 80% of his time telling people in clothing, you know what I mean? We said to him, well, do you know what? I said, all right, we'll give it a go because you're family. Anyway, 18 months later, we're doing absolute phenomenal business. And that's why we were able to expand and buy the recalls that we have, because we've got 3 now. And it's just because of what we can do with them. And my business partner is very creative, and you know, we do a DTG print and we'll put an embroidery on and a reflective, and all this stuff sells at 70, 80, 90 pounds, which is that end of the market. Right. Where if you want to make any money out of clothing, it's got to be, because kids are not interested in paying 20 quid for a t-shirt. They want to pay top level, and that's the way the market's gone, because Primark and all these people have killed all that 20 quid t-shirt around. So that's how we progress. And the label's called Miss Rep. If you want to have a look at it, just a bit of free advertising there. But with the machines, what we got with the recalls, and I know Colin's my pal, but he's the master of, like, you know, idea, problem solving and helping you and stuff like that. We developed this Miss Rep range with the aid of Colin and the recall and all these other print ideas that we've got. So even though, you know, your pal with the screen printer was saying like 8% of his time he's telling people not to do it, if you get it right, it's a license to print money.
Yeah,
absolutely. But you've got to have the equipment. It's like I'm saying that if you've not used that bounce back loan to buy the latest technology, you've missed the boat for next year. I'm telling you that now. You've got to be right on it, mate.
So in terms of your setup, what are you running in your configuration and workflow?
We've got the 2 1000s, a 6000, and in January we're looking forward to the new Pro Series from Resolute. So that's what we've got, and we've got 4 UV machines because we do, again, from Colin, we do the substrate stuff like personalised water bottles and stuff like that. But we're the UV side, the DTG side is, you know, it's great. The fast. I mean, we can do a full colour print in like 90 seconds. It's just crazy, mate. You know what I mean? And you know, we have this people. You know, I don't know. People in the trade will know. You know, I get phone calls. Oh, I want this T-shirt to last, and I go, why? It's just a T-shirt. You want it to last 6 months, or so they'll buy a new one. You know what I mean? It's really suitable for fast fashion. There's no doubt about that. And the way the world is, and the way the youth is, and the way the fashion industry is, it is fast fashion. If you can't react within 24 hours, you've lost it. And like I said, if you're not investing in the latest technology, you're going to miss the boat in the next few years, because apart from all the sad side of all this pandemic and, you know, everything, all the negative side of it, there's a lot of positives coming out. It just like this, for instance, you know what I mean? I mean, the days of walking around trade shows, are they going to come back? Especially to the cost of the trade people. I mean, I've learned so much just watching this in the last 3 hours. You know what I mean? That I would ever done walking around a trade show. Yeah. But who knows? I'll probably work in tandem. And really, in all fairness, I mean, it's different for me because we're like a couple of hours from Colin to go and see new technology. But if there's the latest stuff about it, it is the place to go and see it. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if they'll be on such a grand scale as they once were. You know.
Well, who knows? We will have to wait and see on that one. But
Mr. Gilman's disappeared for some reason. He might have a technical issue.
Right. Well, hey? Colin, I've got you. Can you hear me, Colin? Yeah, I can hear you fine. So,
well, I can hear both of you.
Yeah, well, I'll keep talking to Leo in this case.
I think he might have had a technical issue.
But Leo,
I suppose we can chat amongst ourselves while he comes back. I'm sure.
But Leo's here, so
I'm here, Colin.
We're all right. Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm here, Colin. Marsh.
I know. I can see you. So you just mentioned you're looking forward to the Pro Series, Leo. That is a little bit confidential.
Oh.
So
sorry, mate. Well, it was.
We're keeping that until 2021. It's quite a big splash for as it rings across DTG and UV. Yeah. So yeah, that's very kind of you,
mate. You know. No, but I'm just saying, Colin, I don't know whether you earn most of that. I was saying that if you're not involved in this digital revolution, you know, I was saying to a pal of mine who's a screen printer, and I call him a Luddite like that. I said, the trouble with you is that I said, it's like the spinning jenny at the turn of the century. Hey up, Jack, they've got a machine down at the mill that does the work of 20 men. And they're going, oh, smash it up, it's the devil's work. You know what I mean? It is hard to embrace change, isn't it? Like for all of us. But it's exciting as well, if you're interested in it.
It is, yeah. And I think really, as time goes on, DTG is just getting better and better. And as you know from being in it from what we'll call the inception, 14 years ago, I think. The difference now, the knowledge that you need to print a T-shirt and maintain a machine is probably around about 5% to what you guys needed to learn all that time ago. which was incredibly difficult. It was done, but it was no easy feat like it is now. And I think the DTG process went through a bit of a rocky period when it came, as most new print processes do. But I think it was more to do with the ink technology and people not understanding the process. And if you remember, where Resolute came from was a training school was started right here at HQ to educate people on how direct-to-garment printing was done on many different systems. And we built on that from there on in. So, that was quite exciting to do. So, I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I remember the frustrations. It's like, it wasn't easy, but I mean, it was a great training ground. But like you said, Colin, you know what I mean? If you were this green button, which I think is a great idea, a great term to use, that's the way, and that's what people want, because everything is so fast these days, and it's got to be simple and fast. You know what I mean? It's like like we're in negotiations with a major high street at the moment, one of the successful ones, by the way, with view to doing print on demand for them, because their instruction has been they've got to start sourcing in the UK, which is great, because but we've not got to forget that 10, 20 years ago, they devastated it by taking all the production abroad. And now they all want to bring it back. And for the first time in my life, when I am negotiating with these PLCs and stuff like that, I hold the aces, because they're knocking on our door. And in all fairness, I never told you this, Colin, when with the first early negotiations and the first week after January when we do it, they were saying, what DTG machines do you use? And we told them, we said, all right, can we have a meeting? So from that, I assume they'd done their research. But basically, some of the high street are looking for drop shipping and print on demand. So basically, I think the scenario is going to work something like this. So if they would normally bring in 10,000 printed T-shirts from China or Turkey or wherever, they're now going to bring in 7,000 and leave 3,000 blank, with view to us topping them up. And I'm hopefully at some point listen, we're not going to compete on, I said to them the other day, I said, listen, I'm not doing it for nothing. I said, them days are like waiting 90 days for me money. He said, no, we'll pay you 7 days and we'll give you a fair price, which is, all years, 40 years I've been dealing with the high street, and I'm thinking, is this happening? Because we've got something they want, right? And they don't want to be sat on stock. It's commercial suicide these days.
Leo, let me ask you,
things that DTG allows as well for retail, area specifics, things like that. We've all seen it. And now with the new process you're using, which is the direct-to-film, which is included with all our Rico green button systems. So you don't just print textiles, you can print transfer film with them as well automatically. So sleeves, caps, shoes, all of those things become very, very easy to decorate without having the hassle of having to feed the actual product through the printer. It just eliminates that. And you yourself, I think, have seen it's not right for every process, but it does open up a window of opportunity for speed and production.
Like you said, Colin, the secret to all this going forward is personalisation. You've got to have the ability to be able to print something with Johnny's name on it. So that's what the public want. And the only way I can see it done is with a DTG machine, because you obviously can't do it with a screen print. But that is the future, without doubt, if you want to make a lot of money.
Okay, well, I think direct-to-garment is definitely finding its way into most companies now, especially sign makers, because wherever you make signs for a company, you're actually creating your own market for things like event wear, uniform, and with the new DTG process, you can do workwear quite well, which in the past has not been possible. But the new technology of the inks means, you've got hot washes available, things like that. Overalls are washed on a daily basis. So, it's difficult to get an ink to stay onto that until today's standards, which are pretty high.
Hello, fascinating. A really interesting conversation. I'm afraid I'm doing a bit of a zebedee and coming towards the end of the session here, but I'm actually fascinated to hear you guys talking about this and the opportunities that are coming up for everybody. And I'm sure we can get your details accessible to anyone watching and to go out to people who'd like to learn a little bit more. What do you think, Colin?
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it.
So I believe we lost Colin earlier on.
Yeah, Colin's here. We're all here. I think, we're fine. Okay. It all looks right on the outside. Go on.
Okay. I can't
Oh, okay.
actually see
He's
it,
definitely
so-
there.
Yeah, thank you very much
Right.
for taking part in the session. Thanks a great deal. So
Hey, no worries, mate. Nice one. Really enjoyed it.
appreciate it, Leo. Banging,
Yeah.
as they say, yeah.
Hanging, mate. Yeah, sorted.
Yeah, keep banging those tunes out, Leo.
We're sorted for the 21st century.
Yeah.
All the best, lads.
All right. Thank you very
See ya.
much.
Thanks, Leo. And